Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. My father used to say that there's no such thing as a coincidence. Well, I don't know if I agree with that or not. Life showed me both sides, so I don't know whatever burned him for so long, made him think that way, but I didn't reach that point to agree with that. Nevertheless, I will use this article and I will use it in the spirit of my father's statement. There's no such thing as coincidences. We have here an article coming from obviously some good guys from the New York Times, and it says that as fears of banking crisis surged, members of Congress sold bank shares. Well, this is from for my American, some American fellow Americans who are dumb. Well, this could be an example so you can freaking get something in your freaking head. All right, and now for my good Americans, well, we knew that it was nothing fantastic about it. So in this country where, the system works and you have these elected officials who are doing things that they can do but we can't, the rule of law is screwed. So for the for the side of my those Americans, you know what I mean? Well, maybe this is gonna help you realize how tired you were so far, and maybe you get smarter now. Okay, back to the people who already know this. Let's read this article and discuss it in a very censored way, because we are on YouTube and I have to apply the button of self-censorship. But I'm going to open on other platforms as well, so we can see how freedom of speech works in other areas, if it works. If not, we're going to continue to censor ourselves and be weasels. Let's move on. So here we have it. This article comes from today, April 20th, 2023. On March 10th, as fears were swirling over the health of the nation's banks, an investment account belonging to the children of Representative Jared Moskovich, Democrat of Florida, sold shares of Seacoast Banking Corporation worth between $60,000 to $150,000. I'm pretty sure it was just a coincidence, right? My father? No, because he said there's no such thing as coincidence. But hey, he was wrong. So let's go back here. 2 days later, with the government working to control the crisis, Moskovich, which I just suspect, something, I can't say it because we're on YouTube, said in a television interview that he had attended a bipartisan congressional briefing on the tumult. And on March 13th, as investors fretted over the failure of Silicon Valley Bank and two other smaller banks, Seacoast Banking shares fell nearly 20%. A spokesperson for Moskovich said in an email that the Seacoast share sales had been suggested by the congressman's financial advisor as a means to diversify his young children's holdings, which is a coincidence. Moskovich said the congressional briefing on the bank crisis had taken place just before the television interview and after the shares were sold. But the transaction was just one example of how members of Congress continue to buy and sell stocks and other financial assets in the industries that intersect with their official duties. At least eight members of Congress, or their close relatives sold shares of banks' stocks in March, according to an analysis by Capital Traders. Coincidence? A project of the data firm 2IQ, that's exactly how much we are expected to have, a number that could rise in the coming days as lawmakers make additional disclosures of trade made last month. Nothing will happen today. I should not say more because I have to censor my shit. Let's move on. Although broadly legal, Stock trading by members of Congress has become a flashpoint because lawmakers are sometimes privy to closely held information about the companies and industries they oversee. A New York Times investigation last year showed that during that 3-year period, nearly 1/5 of federal lawmakers or their immediate family members had bought or sold stocks or other securities that could have been affected by their legislative work. That's a coincidence again. So we have, let's see another one here. It says, as the Silicon Valley Bank was closed, even during that period, there were reports that members of Congress were trading bank stocks. Brown said, I mean, and I'm quoting, imagine that members of Congress, we have more inside information. He said, adding, members of Congress, I'm quoting, are able because of their jobs to know more about the economy, end quote. Representative Dan Goldman, Democrat of New York, sold shares of First Republic Bank, the large depositor that was rapidly losing both cash and clients on March 15th, the day before it received an industry bailout of $30 million. The wife and children of Representative Kana, Democrat of California, sold First Republic shares that same day. Republican John Curtis, Republican Utah, sold shares in First Republic from a joint account with his spouse on March 16, the day the industry bailout occurred. By that time, First Republic shares had already fallen nearly 80% from the February peak. The timing of the sales by those three lawmakers or their relatives meant that the sellers averted an additional price swoon that was still to come. First Republic stock is down nearly 90% since the beginning of the year. A spokesperson for Goldman had said that his portfolio is managed by a third party without his knowledge, and he is setting up a blind trust to avoid any appearance of conflict of interest. Okay, good job. So we have here a little bit of some information on things that I personally have. Now I have to censor myself. That's a possibility they do it, but we don't have enough evidence to support the allegations. That's why I can't say what exactly I think about the issue, but I think you know exactly what I think about the issue. The problem is we are just, and they are the ones that are us, and we go and vote for them. So good job. It's a fantastic system. Love America. Love America. And for those tards from that group, you gotta go and vote again. Yes, please do that. Please do that and support this fantastic, perfect system that we live in, because it's fantastic. Fantastic. I'm gonna go and vote again. You know how? I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'm gonna vote with my index finger. That's how I'm gonna vote. Okay. Sorry for the uncomfortable situation, but yeah, we'll do like Stalin said. Hey, let them vote as long as we count the votes. Now let's see if that goes through. But that's how Stalin, I didn't say it, it was not me, it was nobody else. And there's no reference to anything else. All right? So let's see. Let's see. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.